Hey guys, it's me, Midnight, back here in the house once again with another random video. Yep, I told you it wasn't all going to be the same stuff. I'm kind of going off on a little tangent here for a little bit. I'm going to take the time to respond to a video that I watched recently here on YouTube. Recently I started watching a channel by the name of Playte, and she put out an interesting video that I thought I would do a response to, where she did a Q&A and she asked 10 different questions, of which she did her answers to. So I thought I would take the time and do my answers to those same 10 questions and let you know my answers. So sit back, strap in, and let's take a spin around the old brain case and see what my answers are to Playte's 10 questions. Okay, so the first question that she asked on her channel was, what is your favorite music or band? Well, for me, that's not really an easy question to answer because I have a lot of different tastes. But I will give you some examples of some music that I really like, and maybe you might like them too. One group that I really like is a band called Tattoo, and this is the album 200 Kilometers an Hour in the Wrong Lane. Really great album. In fact, they did a really nice cover of How Soon Is Now by the Smiths, which is an awesome album. This is a longtime favorite of mine. One of the two sisters of punk that I'll cover here. This is Lena Lovitch. This is her one of her best known albums. This is Stateless, which is a really cool album. In fact, it's on this one, it's got a couple of Japanese versions of her songs too. So if you could find Stateless Plus, not just regular Stateless, but you have to find Stateless Plus, that'll have the extras tracks on it. But it's a really good album, so I really enjoyed this one. The other sister of punk that I really like is Nina Hagen. I know you're thinking, why do you have an album? Well, dude, anybody who really loves audio has to have at least some vinyl in their collection. This one is special to me because I actually met Nina Hagen. I met her in California in 2004. It was an interesting story because it was at the end of a concert of 4 different artists, and they told us that if we wanted to meet her, to wait out back of the concert hall. So me and this gal that I met there, I lost touch with her since we moved. We went and saw her, and then we went out and stood out in the rain, of course, sitting there soaking wet, waiting for her to come out. Well, her American tour manager, Barbara, comes out and says, oh, you guys should come on in. You guys should come on in. So they let us in the back, and we were in there for a little bit, and then the concert venue people kicked everybody out. So we went out there waiting again, but we did get a chance to meet her as she came out. Very nice, very pleasant lady. Autographed my album in the rain. So yeah, it was a really awesome experience. Another artist that I really like, she personally signs all of her albums, so I'm kind of covering up a little bit. This is a brand new album, just came out here in the last month. This is an album called Chaos and Stillness by a lady by the name of Mari Ijima. If you watch anime, she's best known for back in the 80s. She did one character in the anime series Macross. She did Min Mei, which has pretty much rocketed her to stardom. But she's done like over 20 albums since then. And nowadays she's an independent artist living out in the greater Los Angeles area. So every time a new album comes out, of course I'm going to pick it up. And they're great because each album is a whole nother adventure. And she puts like liner notes on the inside and does really cool artwork on them. Really nice stuff. I really enjoy her music quite a bit. So that's a little bit of the favorite music that I like. The second question that she asked on her video was, what is your favorite color? These are never simple answers, are they? I've got a few. Royal blue, or cobalt blue, I should say. Royal purple, and probably the brassiest, brashest, most obnoxious shade of fuchsia pink you can ever imagine on the face of this earth. Just because I'm different. I don't usually have those. I don't usually have a lot of pink out because I'm not as obnoxious as I used to be, like years and years ago when I was a lot younger and a lot more self-expressionistic, but I still am creative in my own way. I still like blues and purples. Those are pretty much my favorite colors. The third question was, do you prefer summer or winter? This may seem pretty counterintuitive to a lot of people, but I actually prefer winter over summer, and there's a reason why. I have grown up here in Montana. I have pretty much been acclimated to this climate pretty much all my life. It was really weird the winter that actually, well, I should say the whole year that I lived out in California, because it was so bizarre. I remember going to Disneyland for my very first time. This is back in 2001. And I asked the lady working there, I says, does it ever get really cold out here in California in the wintertime? She goes, oh yeah, it gets really cold. And I says, how cold does it get? She said, about 50 degrees. That's not cold. I'm sorry, but to me, cold doesn't count until you get down below the 0 mark. It just doesn't. I mean, it's like in the 40s, low 50s here in Montana right now. I'm recording this the first part of March. Yeah, we're going out in like shirts and jeans. Yeah, so we're crazy. We're kind of like that, but hey, I would rather have winter than summer, because here's my reasoning behind that. In the wintertime, you can add more layers. In the summertime, there's only so many layers you can take off before the police get called. Coming in the number 4 question, she asked, are you married? Yep, definitely I'm married to, I would say, the most awesome woman that I've ever met in my entire life, because basically she knew everything about me before I even met her because of other friends in my life, and she was still interested in being around me. So I think that says something. No, nothing bad, nothing like that. Like I said, in the 80s, I was a punk new wave person. For a long time, I was very much out there, very, very self-expressionistic, and that didn't bother her in the slightest. And we've been married, shoot, over 20 years, going on 22, and she still puts up with me. I would not trade her for anybody else in the world. Absolutely. Bottom line, best thing that ever happened to me. Absolutely. Question number 5. Do you have kids? Yep. Got 2, and thankfully I stopped there. It's not a bad thing, but I must tell you that anybody who has ever raised kids who are autistic, it is definitely not the normal ride that you would ever expect. It's got its challenges, but it's also got its really high marks as well. So it's never dull. I will definitely say that. And they've developed their own interests in life, and it's kind of like the same thing when we were growing up. We developed our own interests, and our parents had to deal with that too. Nothing bad, nothing like that at all. They're into like collectible card gaming, anime, and lots of music. So I'm exposing them to some of my music too. So hey, it's been a good thing. So yep. And they're getting up there in the years, which makes me feel older. Yay. Thanks. Next question was, what I wish I could be doing right now, if anything. That is a real easy question to answer. If there was anything that I could be doing right now at all, ever, it would be touring around Japan. Seriously. I mean, I have watched a lot of videos. I have seen a lot of pictures. There's so many cool things about that country that I would love to go see and experience. Like for example, when I watch Chris Sakura's videos, I sit there and I watch him, and I'm just living vicariously through you, dude. I mean, seriously, I would so love to just tour around Japan. Just drop me off at the airport and let me get lost for a few weeks, and yeah, I'd be happy. May not be too eager to come back, but I'd be really, really happy. But yeah, that's where I'd love to be. So what is a fear of mine? Acrophobia, truth be told. I do have a fear of high places. In fact, even if I watch a VR simulation of being somewhere high up, yeah, I get really nervous. True story. First time I ever went on soaring over California over at Disney's California Adventure, I was petrified to go on this, and I knew it was a ride that was on the ground. But the way these do the ride is that you're suspended in the seat, so you're in front of this huge, like half a sphere. So when the projection comes on, you're just like, and if that wasn't bad enough, in 2010, I actually did get on a plane for the very first time ever. I was eager to go to an anime convention in Denver, Colorado, and I was originally going to drive down there, but my car had problems, so a friend of mine says, well, why don't you just fly down? I'm like, do I really want to do this? And it was definitely very, very nervous for the very first time, especially when they shut the door and you start taxiing, and then you feel that lurch as the engines rev up, and then you feel the second lurch when the plane takes off, and you're just like, yeah. So yeah, it was. And when I got on the plane, I was in an aisle seat, so of course I reach over, and the first thing I do is I shut the window. But as we got up in the air, my head tilts to the right, and there's very few people on this plane. But it's got 2 seats per side of the aisle, so it's not a small plane. But I look to the right, that window's open, and we're watching the sunset with the clouds below the sun. Yeah, I was a little nervous, but I got through it. And I flew on the way back too. A little bit bigger plane on that one, but still, yeah, I still have fear of high places to this day. So there you go. The 8th question she had on her list was a quote you thought you'd invented, but you really hadn't. One quote I've had for a long time, and I highly doubt it's original. I'd like to think it was. I haven't found the exact wording online, so maybe I did. I don't know. But my quote is, the biggest obstacles we encounter in life are the ones that we place on our own path, which is so true. And I have a feeling that there's somebody out there who said it already. I can't believe that's really that original with the millions of people that live on this planet. So somebody probably already did. So I'd like to think I did, but I probably didn't. But it's still saying I live by. And it's so true, because if you put obstacles in your own way, yeah, they are going to be some of the hardest ones to get out. So the 9th question that she had on her list was, what is your favorite food? Can I say what country is my favorite food from? That might be a little bit easier question. Although that's not quite easy either, because there's actually 2 countries that I love food from. Well, actually more than that. I'd say at the top of the list, though, just like where I'd like to be, of course, is Japanese food, especially sushi. You get really good sushi. There's nothing like it. There really isn't. Now, granted, I live in Montana. It's a landlocked place, so you're not going to get you're not going to get stuff right out of the water. But man, the stuff they played at some of these places here is pretty darn good. I mean, it's good enough for me. So yeah. And there's actually even a place here in town that even sells, well, it's as close to fresh ramen as you're ever going to get. Everything except the noodles is freshly made. So I'll take it. No problem. Of course, if I ever go to Japan, that's probably one of the first places I'm going to go to is a ramen shop, because I got to have the real article. But that's my favorite kind. Followed closely second by German food. Of course, I grew up in a German town. I grew up in a town just west of Billings called Laurel, which has a huge German community. And every year we had a Herbstfest, which is kind of like Oktoberfest, but it's in September. But yeah, great celebration. I remember those years fondly. Great German food, especially cabbage rolls. Just couldn't get enough of those. So yeah. And the last question that she had on her list was, do you have any animals? Currently we have one. It's a female black cat that just lately, since she's the only cat in the house, we have had other cats, and the other cats that have come in have gone rogue for some reason. But then again, lately we have not really gone out to adopt any animals. These are animals that have just kind of wandered in, and they've adopted us. But the first one that came in is one that still stayed, and it's gotten to be a lot more affectionate over the years. Very beautiful cat. Absolutely love having her as part of the family. So there you go. So there are my answers to Playte's questions. So if you like this video and want to answer in your own way, you definitely should. I mean, I think it's kind of a fun little thing to do, just to kind of break the ice and kind of introduce yourself to people. So there you go. So shout out to Playte for putting up her video on her Let's Get to Know Each Other. I'll of course link to that video down in the description below, so that way you can watch it as well and subscribe to her channel too, because she's got some really cool content. If you like this video and want to see more random content, go ahead and smash that like button. It is right over there. If you want to see some more random content from yours truly, hit that subscribe button. It's right down there. Of course you know where it is. As always, I say live a little randomly each day, and we will catch you in the next video.